More than
Birthday
nothing.
grams last time. Can you see it?
Stop.
Does it need to go down more?
Right there.
This is how you have to be director.
Do direct?
Good morning, Boy Bobcats. Today's Friday, March 10th, 2023. This is Rietta.
And Chris with the morning announcements. Here's Miss McChrystal for what's in the principal's pocket.
Good morning, friends, and happy Friday. So, what is in my pocket today? Well, today I have a package that's hard for you to see, but trust me, it's a package of yeast. Do you know what yeast is? Well, yeast is this little tiny thing inside here. If I were to open it up, I'm going to try not to make a mess, Miss Charbonneau, because they're little teeny tiny little granules. They're like the size of sand. Have you ever picked up sand with your fingers and you've tried to hold just one little sand grain? That's how tiny this yeast is. It's super small. And when you put yeast into bread dough, this is what causes the bread to rise and expand into the loaf that you're used to seeing when you go to like Panera or the grocery store. If you don't put yeast in the bread won't rise. It'll bake, but it will be flat, kind of like a pita or, one of those tortilla shells that you maybe build a burrito with, right? Hasn't risen up, it's flat. The yeast is what makes the bread rise. Now, a long time ago, you couldn't buy yeast like this in a little package. So what families would do is they would take a piece of dough that they had already put yeast in, and they would keep it aside. They wouldn't bake it. And then they would use that when they would make the next batch of dough because the yeast was already in there and it would expand into the new dough. And then they would pinch off a piece, keep it aside, bake that bread, and then they could use the next one to start the next batch. Because yeast just kind of spreads through the dough and then causes it to rise. And I was thinking when I was making bread not too long ago, there's a lot of things that are kind of like yeast, that when you add it to your life or to your personality, it causes you to rise up. For example, if you are one of those people who spreads kindness, then kindness is kind of like yeast. If you spread it in your life, before you know it, it causes your life to rise up and other people notice. But if you spread a lot of, sassiness or meanness, then that becomes kind of like yeast too. Because if you are sassy and mean to everybody you know, that's going to spread in your life and spread out. And soon that's all people will see. So the next time you're thinking about, how do I want to be in this moment? Do I want to be seen as kind, caring, and forgiving? Or do I want to be seen as difficult and hard to be friends with? Think about yeast and how you get to decide whether your yeast is rising you up for good or not. And that's what's in the principal's pocket. All right, friends, I have 2 more announcements for you. First, I bet I don't have to tell you, spring break starts. So don't come to school next week because we're all going to take a break. It's important to work hard, and then we're going to do some playing hard too while we're away. While you're on spring break, in between all the fun you're going to probably have, don't forget about our readathon that's going on right now. And you can get double the satisfaction if you use your MyOn Reading Challenge, because if you do your MyOn Reading Challenge, that time also can count for your readathon. I love it. Think of it like a 2-for-1 special, right? So don't forget about that readathon and your MyOn, and enjoy your spring break. We'll see everybody back here on Monday. That's all the news that I know of. Have a fantastic Friday, a wonderful, safe spring break, and remember who you are. Now back to the desk.
Kindergarten 1st grade hearing test today, room 310.
UIBC 1245 from 310. Last day for PBIS field day today, 250 points. A special PT happy birthday shout out to Eliana Hernandez, 4th grade, Miss Garcia. Happy 10th birthday, Eliana. Charlotte Cross, 2nd grade, Miss Fowler's class. Happy birthday, Charlotte.
Tyler Bello, 4th grade, Miss
Buddies.
Brody. Happy birthday, Tyler.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
And a moment of silence.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now for a moment of silence.
You may now be seated.
Teachers, all buses are in. You may now take your attendance.
Teachers, all buses are in. You may now take your attendance. That's all the news for now. Have a fantastic Friday, Bobcats.
Clear.
I messed up.
If you messed up,